Hello, everyone. This is Joe Brewer. I just wanted to give you an update personally about what happened over the last few days as I hosted 25 people in my home for a workshop on how to manage planetary collapse. It was a truly incredible experience, and for those of you who have been following along, or if you were one of the participants, you'll know that it was a transformative experience for all of us. We were changed by the process. And part of the deep realignment in the body that we felt was this shared acceptance that a collapse process has been happening since well before we were born, and that the loss of biodiversity, the impacts due to climate change, the increasing human population, I mean, you just could go on and on looking at the major planetary scale changes that are being driven by human activity, that once we accepted how complex that change is and overwhelming it is, and also that some of it has already happened, and much of what's coming in the next decade is a kind of inertia that we can't avoid, that things will be lost that are sacred and we have to accept it. This basic starting point was the chrysalis of transformation for realizing how much power we have to create regeneration and healing of ecosystems, including human communities, as we move forward. And that this collapse process is going to continue to unfold for decades, if not centuries, and that regeneration is the only way to come out of overshoot and collapse. We've gone too far across planetary boundaries. We are now reaching and passing tipping points of unacceptable accelerations. And this is the time for us to boldly, ambitiously learn how to collaborate to regenerate the world. We spent a lot of time in this workshop talking about human development and education, about how people's minds and bodies are affected by stress and anxiety, how it shuts them down through fear and pain, to the ability to be open and trusting, and the ability to sense and discern what's happening around them. And our group, through a process of emergent collaboration, which was the way I facilitated the event, gave us the ability to experience 25 people being a collective sense-making organism. As a group, we weaved creatively for 3 days through very difficult emotions and grieving, and through very complex intellectual or academic topics, while also holding to a place of groundedness in our bodies, where we would do improv theater as an activity to reconnect us to ourselves and then continue working as a group. Having rituals that were prayers or meditations for grounding ourselves in the energy of our bodies or in the changes happening in the environment here in Oregon where the meeting happened. So all of this was happening, and what I want to share with you is that I was doing this workshop to prototype or to experientially design curriculum for teaching this to people. So my intention is to build a school for applied cultural evolution, partnering with people in Costa Rica who are also connected to other groups all over the world, where there are collaborations arising to regenerate ecosystems, to grow the biodiversity of different places, and to create communities built on economic principles that increase health and well-being for people. All of this is happening together, and one of my tasks is to help design a school for applied cultural evolution. And this workshop was the first attempt to prototype curriculum to design that education program. And the school is something that is not just graduate school like master's and PhD level, although we do have plans to create that. It's really learning across the lifetime, from prenatal care and early childhood development to the way that our children learn about eco-literacy of the places and the cultural histories of the places where they live, all the way through to very advanced research uh, that is applied to social change efforts. And so all of this has been incubating in my own life and work for many years, but also in the lives of many others that I will collaborate with. And I just want to share with you that this workshop is not the only one we'll do. I'm already planning to organize at least one more this year and possibly another one in the spring. That would be in Costa Rica. The one later this year would be here in Oregon again, so that more people can experience this transformational change and so that we can figure out how do we teach the management of complexity in a time of unprecedented global change. So I'm very excited. I'm very sober. I'm very solemn. The experience was very grounding, and we dealt with some pain. We had one participant during a particularly powerful ritual who experienced vicarious trauma, and luckily we had a therapist who was in the group who was able to help that person to deal with the grief that overwhelmed them. This is very, very difficult stuff, but this is the work of culture design, and I'm very inspired and hopeful about what we can do together. So I just wanted to share this with you as a little update and let you know that we are working toward bigger things, and this is just one step along the way. If you missed this workshop, don't worry, you'll have plenty more opportunities to come and learn with me, to learn with the other amazing people that I get to work with. Some of them I'll invite to future workshops to help facilitate. And so just thank you all for supporting me on Patreon. I have to say thank you to my wife, Jessica, for allowing me to open up our home to 25 people that came from around the world to stay with us, sleeping on our couch and air mattresses on the floor, setting up tents in the backyard, the whole works, for us to be able to host something like this. And that we're making progress. And I couldn't do it without you. So onward, fellow humans.